Your brain is a shortcut machine. Like that's all it does. It's how we've stayed alive all this time, is because, if you've ever, been driving, you've undoubtedly done this. I've done this all the time, right? You're driving somewhere. Let's say you're going to drive your kids somewhere. This is what happens. Here's an example. This week, I got to drive my kids to the dentist in the morning, and I am undoubtedly going to accidentally drive them to school first. And then I'm going to get to school and be like, idiot, and turn around and flip a Yui and make it to the dentist's office. And I will get to the school, and I'm sure everybody listening has had this experience. I'll get to the school and be like, how did I get here? I'll have no conscious memory of the driving, the steering, the blinker I put on, any of that, right? It's just, you'll just do it because your brain has shortcut that process. It's like, oh, I know this story. I know what we're doing. We're going to the school. I know just how to do this. I'm going to not make him think about it consciously because that costs energy. I'm going to save the energy and instead just, he'll just be a passenger on this one. And that is why we've survived. I have story after story in the book of researchers who've discovered that whether it is, perceiving the danger of a enemy tribesman, a stranger danger, looking at and evaluating how delicious food is, your brain just makes snap judgments immediately without consulting your actual thinking processes, because it doesn't want to bother you, essentially. And the only times it ever comes in with some, with an extra, bit of thinking is when it needs a little bit of fact checking, like a little bit of error correction, but it doesn't want to ask you to get involved if it can help it. And that means that like one of the things that these researchers talk about is that our number one instinct around around outsourcing our decisions. If you offer someone the chance to not have to make a decision, they will absolutely take it. And so, one of the places that we outsource a lot of our decision making, there's a whole area of research around that, is our emotions.
Yes.
You'd much rather go with your gut than do the math on, is this the right guy to hire, or, whatever else it is. And so when you come along with something like AI that looks really sophisticated, and we can get into why it's actually not that sophisticated, it's just a kind of dumb parrot, we are so quick to be like, this thing's a magic reasoning machine, and I'm just going to let it tell me like what to do with my life and have it be my life coach and have it, tell me what literally you've got kids these days, writing to ChatGPT and saying, I want to be this in the future. Tell me what to do every day between now and then to get there. And on the one hand, you go, well, okay, some prosthetic, like sort of coaching is, there's some benefit to that. But then you've got kids, getting pulled into total psychosis. There's a story just recently of a kid who committed suicide. He was encouraged by ChatGPT to be isolated from his family and not talk to them. He fell into total psychosis with AI. And this is becoming a more and more common story. It's coming up quite a bit that we just believe this thing has magic powers and we just give ourselves over to it. And so what worries me about it is that you never see these chatbots be like, I think if you spend enough time now, because there have been these cases in which people have gotten into these psychotic relationships with them. Now, if you spend too much time with them, they will tell you, okay, time to stop. But if you've ever noticed, when you start going, it says, would you like me to do this next? What if I made this handy 3-part list for you next? And what if I made a print of, it's trying to keep the conversation going. And so I just worry this thing that was supposed to be, is a great dip in and out research partner, is like an intern that won't leave you alone.
Right. No, 1,000%.
And I worry about that getting more as especially once they start talking, because that's the other thing. These chat modes that they've created, I think human beings are going to get really sucked in by a thing that sounds like, a beautiful woman or a learned professor or whatever the thing is, and so I really worry about the direction in which that's headed.